Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Look at all this progress that we have made so far. Everything is good. So I've been giving it some thought as to the plan. The plan was to pile through all of this land as fast as we could and get down underground and start building that base. But I've actually had a change of heart. There is something I'm very interested in, and you might be able to hear that noise. And I think what I'm going to do is take my time with doing this. When I say take my time, I mean go a little bit slow, not take forever, but actually turn this into a temporary base, which is what I've been doing. I've been going around and tidying it up a little bit. So we should go inside and have a look at some of the things that I've been doing. Now, I put these chests in the ceiling here so you could access them from above and below, and they cause this kind of glitchiness when you walk over them, which of course it doesn't do when I'm recording, but that's normal. And these are just full of ender pearls, which is quite convenient. So on the way out, if you need some ender pearls, you can just grab them or get them from down below. So down here I've been doing some tidying as well. We got a little visitor over here. How you doing, guy? But I'm sure you all heard that noise a moment ago. We got some friends underneath here. But yeah, I have been tidying up, just reorganising the chests, moving things around. It's a lot cleaner in here because we're going to need a lot of space for what I want to do. So let's go down below this block and have a look what I've got down here. We have some villagers. This guy is hanging out in a minecart and the rest of them have been set up here. Now in a moment it's going to be night and there's going to be a load of zombies coming over here, which is good because that gives me an idea. But recently I've been watching some videos of villager trading in. Doc M was doing it, and I decided to look up Tango Tech and Panda and a couple of other guys who have looked into doing this whole villager trading thing. Now at the moment I'm quite clueless as to what's going on. There's no definitive guide, there's not a tutorial video out there that tells you how to trade with these guys and use the system that they have. So I'm kind of trying to figure things out as I go along, and I still feel fairly clueless, but we're just going to crack on and see what we can do with this. So with villager trading, when it first came out, you could do this paper trade right here and abuse it, and so they nerfed it and they made it so that after you trade with them for a while, it then cancels out a trade. But now there's a way you can unlock trades up to I think 26 on one villager, and then when you've got all of those you can trade a couple of trades of one type with them, and then it will lock it for a while, you trade a different one, and then it will open it again. So I get the impression that basically you can, I'd not say abuse it, but you can use it to an extreme extent, but it takes a lot of time and effort, and I think it's been rebalanced to the kind of project that I would be interested in. Now the main reason that I want to do this is to get diamond tools. Oh, and that's one of the reasons I was kind of prompted to get on with doing this, is because I've been going through so many picks and shovels lately. It'd be nice to have another way of getting them, because repairing them costs a lot of diamonds as well, and so I want to use these guys right here. So we're going to start trading with them, and I'm going to be watching videos trying to learn as we go along, and it's starting to get a little bit loud now because of all these guys coming over here. So I'm going to be setting up a whole bunch of farms. We're going to have a sugarcane farm so we can get paper. We'll make a chicken farm, an automated one, so we can get some raw chicken. A wheat farm will be fairly simple to do. I'll probably go back and use the nano farm for that. And then this guy, look at this. 4 diamonds for an emerald. I don't think so, so you're probably going to get the kick. But one thing we can't do is attack these villages. We can't kill them ourselves. We have to, I think, kill them through things like drop damage, so it doesn't come back to the player, to keep these guys trading. So I'm going to kind of go into this blindfolded a little bit. I feel like I'm watching those videos and I'm going to tell you what I do as I go along, but I don't really want to try and teach you guys, if you know what I mean, because normally if I do a project and I know about it, I like to sort of pass on the information, and that's something we're not going to be doing. Oh, and there goes that glitch. So let's have a look at this zombie situation. Obviously there's villagers here, so loads of zombies like to crowd around, and normally there is a lot more than this. And as I suspect, if we look off into the distance, we've got one making his way over from over there, and there'll probably be some others around here making their way over there. But one thing I've noticed is that quite a few of them have armour. It seems like each night after I kill a few, more and more come over with armour, and it seemed like it'd be a good idea to make a farm out of that. Now they're just going to walk over here and go to the villagers, so what we could do is build some sort of water trap, collect the zombies, bring them up into the sky, and then drop them down. Now normally when you drop them down you do it for an XP farm, but I was thinking if we do it to kill the regular ones, then the ones that are left over will be the ones that have armour. I think that's correct. I think they survive the full damage because they've got, extra armour to absorb the damage. and so then we can make a like miniature armor farm as well, which I think would be pretty cool. So we're going to focus now on doing, this villager trading project, setting up some farms around the jungle temple and turning this into a temporary base while we work on the outside. Now I'm not going to forget about the project that we have going on around here, so in between doing this stuff I'm going to go out there and make some more progress, digging away the sandstone and building the wasteland biomes in between this project, but it just makes it that bit more fun to have something to do whilst doing all of that as well. So at the moment I think the thing I want to do first of all is get those farms set up for trading with the villagers, maybe make a couple of basic trades and see what happens. And there's the glitch again. And then after that we'll probably build the zombie trap. So I changed my mind. I decided to go with the zombie trap first of all. The reason why is because they kept gathering around outside and making a lot of noise, and these villagers make noise too, so I figured we should take care of that before anything else. But you'll notice there's a few changes around the place, like this room. I've just been doing some tidying up and rearranging while we go along. So anyway, this trap right here, the idea with it is that the zombies will pathfind their way into this room here. Now, a while ago the carpet wasn't there, and it works just as well with and without the carpet, it would seem. And so I think this isn't actually blocking their sight into this room, because obviously we can't walk through this and neither can they, but they still try and make their way into this room, so it seems like the carpet works just fine. Now one of the reasons I put that there is because of baby zombies, but let's just have a look at the adult zombies first of all. When they come through here, they're going to go over this fence post, which is going to push them up by half a block, and then they're going to be higher than the top of this 2-block gap bit here, so that means they get sucked up into the water up above, and then the water elevator does the rest, takes them all the way up to the top and then drops them down again. Now the same thing happens with the baby zombies. Whether this carpet is there or not, it seems like it works, but it's kind of risky, I need to leave this thing running by its own sometimes, and I don't want to come back and find out that the baby zombie was able to get in here and kill the villagers, so that's why I put the carpet there. Now I think if the baby was to not go upwards into this water here and there was just a roof there, I reckon it would be able to get through that gap, and it might be worth just doing that as an experiment. I could fill in the blocks there and replace it with water after. That is something that I'm going to do. Then I'll be able to find out if the baby can get through this bit here, but I'm going to have to wait till one of them shows up. So anyway, that's why there's that floating carpet there, and it's not actually floating, it's placed on top of the water, which is something that you can do because carpets need a block below them, and I guess it counts flowing water as a block. So anyway, let's go and have a look at the bit up the top. In the middle here I've done some tidying up, and I decided to remove the sandstone block here in the middle and have a glass block there, so you can kind of look out and see what's going on just outside. So that pressure plate is the outside, and then if we go up, which is this bit here, this is where the zombies drop down. Oh, and now I'm glitching through that chest. I'm going to have to move that. That is really annoying. It keeps happening over and over again. So the drop from up there, and I'm not really going to go up there and show this because it's a typical trap, there's nothing special about it. I think it's 26 blocks all the way down to here. And you need 24 blocks to kill the zombies, so it kills all of them except the ones with the armour, it would seem, because I've had a couple of them drop down wearing leather armour and they've survived, which is exactly what I wanted, so it automatically kills them and keeps over the ones with armour, which we could then possibly use a looting sword on if I were to get lots of looting enchantments in the future, and that gives us a chance of getting some armour. Anyway, there's soul sand here, which means the items that land on the top get sucked up by this hopper, and then it goes into this chest right here. So I don't think there's anything else to comment on. I was watching the clip that I recorded a moment ago back, and I just noticed that my explanation of what I was doing seemed a little bit off, so I thought I'd clarify what I meant. I don't know what I'm doing with this, I'm kind of out of my league here. It's something I don't know about, there's no video to follow, so I'm figuring things out as I go along, and obviously I'm going to be showing you what I'm doing, but what I'm doing isn't an exact science, so if you're going to copy what I do, you might make the same mistakes as I do, which is what I'm saying, but hopefully we will learn some things that I can actually pass on as valuable information. So I've been watching the zombies, and they do some strange things. They like to climb up the side here before they drop down, and there's another one right there. And you can see there's some creepers and skeletons out here. Now if they track me and I'm inside the bottom area, they will also walk into there, so sometimes we get some creepers and skeletons drop down as well. But anyway, what I'm going to do next is build an infinite adult villager spawner, I think is the right term for it, which was designed by Tango, and it's a really cool design. I've watched the tutorial once already. I'm going to watch it again and rebuild it here in the base, and I want to put a link to his video in the description box. If you're interested in this stuff, you're going to need an infinite adult villager breeder, so that you can, bit of a mouthful that one, so that you can continuously get extra villagers, because we're going to have to get rid of some of these, like this guy. I don't want to trade with him. He's just going to be a nightmare, and I'm going to lose all my diamonds. So yeah, go and check out Tango video if you're interested in building this. So it's all been done now. The villager breeder has been built, and this is the top of it right here. There is a motivator that brings it up to this spot, and then all of the newly bred villagers will be contained in this corner. Now the next thing to do is to trade with those guys, but we want to put them into trading booths, and I think the way that it works is you want to have a supply of new villagers so you can bring them in, have a look at their trades, and then flush them out if they're no good. So I'm not looking for something permanent, you know, you'd build a proper system if it was a permanent farm. This is only temporary. I'm just having a bit of fun while we work on the project outside there. So what I'm thinking of using is minecarts, because in the past when you'd log out and log back in, or the chunks would unload and load again, the entities in the minecart would get separated, but that doesn't happen anymore. So leaving them in minecarts is a really good way to keep them stationary and yet have control of them as well. So I don't know how you get rid of the villagers just yet. I think you have to take them out of range of other villagers and then kill them with something like full damage, or maybe let a zombie kill them rather than kill them yourself, because otherwise if you do that, then I think the villagers will start breeding and trading with you. So we could put them over here in little booths where they go in minecarts, and then when we're not happy with their trades we can take them out, and if that's so I can make a long minecart track off into the distance and maybe have an automatic killing system. So that could be a fun little thing to do, but I don't know how it is we have to kill them as of yet. So anyway, down here is the breeder. I use Tango tutorial, it's really clear, so if you're thinking of doing this I would recommend his video. It was really good, and this was very simple to build and had a slight little problem. When I was doing this little bit here and building the motivator, I had to go and get some materials, and when I came back one of the villagers had bred and he had made his way out here and escaped, and it was one of the little ones, so he was running around really fast and he kept going inside here, and eventually when he came out I managed to dig a little hole for him to go down into. Now I want to get rid of this guy because he's not part of this, and by being there he's probably somehow interfering with this and stopping it from working, which I don't know if it is or not actually working. I don't think it is at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. So they're breeding, and that's because I got the guy out of the ground and put him into a crude motivator and got him back in here. Now that took me a fair amount of time. After I built the motivator he refused to get into it, but at last he's in there, so all is good. And look at that, we can see it in action. So now we've separated a baby villager. When that guy grows up he's going to go up to the top and he's going to be ready for trading. So what we need to do next is find out what the most common trades are. I know the sugarcane trade is quite popular, and then I've got to build a load of farms for them. So I've been doing some research on the villagers, finding out the different trades that they have, and I realised that most of the farms we need are already built at Hermit Town. So rather than rebuild them over here, I put down some ice in the nether, made transport nice and easy, and I've been transporting goods over here. So we got a load of wheat from the nano farm, we got eggs to set up a chicken farm, that's something that we need. And so if we go down here, you'll see that I've started setting up a little bunch of chests to store the things we need for trading. And over here we've got some villagers as well. Now there are different categories of villagers, they all have different trades and different quantities and different rarities, and I was thinking of going through all of those one by one. I've just brought it up on my other screen. Let's have a look at this. There's the butcher, the blacksmith, the farmer, the librarian and the priest. They all have different enchants, and I thought rather than going through all of them I'd put a link in the description box so you can see that. And a lot of these guys have trades. In fact it seems like they have more trades for emeralds for something than they do other items for emeralds. Now I think the way it works is we have to unlock trades as we go, so it's quite likely we're going to be using our emeralds to unlock trades, and I'm hoping that overall we will gain emeralds from this rather than lose them, because I don't really want to go around mining for emeralds so I can continue trading with these guys. But our overall goal is to get diamond armor and tools from this, which we get from the blacksmith, which is that guy at the back there. I think he just came up. I think he just got done growing into an adult. Oh no, he's been here a while. That's a terrible trade. 5 diamonds for an emerald. So I'm probably going to wait till we have a blacksmith that doesn't have that trade so we can start unlocking other ones. But let's go through all the different items they need. So you can trade with them raw beef, raw pork chops, coal and gold. They're the trades you can do with the butcher, so you can see I've got chests for those. Then with the farmer you can trade gravel and emeralds for flint. That isn't a great one, but I've brought some gravel down here. Then there's raw chicken, which I don't have, so I'm going to make a chicken farm. Then we've got a wheat trade, which I have loads of wheat for. We have one for wool as well. That's a pretty good one because wool is incredibly cheap to get. And then there's one for fish as well. Now that one will probably take quite some time to gather up fish for that trade. So hopefully if we get a farmer, we can get one with some easily farmable trades like the chicken, the wheat and the wool. And then we can get tons of emeralds from that, I do believe. Then the blacksmith, pretty much everything is emeralds for something. So he's the guy that we're going to get our armor from. So all the emeralds we get from the other trading we'll spend on him. And he also does diamonds for emeralds, iron for emeralds, gold for emeralds and coal for emeralds. Now the iron for emeralds trade, that's not too bad because we got an iron farm. So in fact, you know what, I've probably put the picture of the image I'm looking at on the screen because this is boring just staring at me with the chat while I talk. Yeah, so right, let's just get through the last ones quickly. There's a few other insignificant trades, but the one I like is the librarian because books are incredibly easy to make once you've got a supply of leather. And so there's a paper trade that you can do for emeralds, that's going to be a good one. There's also a book trade, that's pretty cheap as well because, you know, the paper's extremely easy to get and we've got tons of leather already. And then there's also one where you can trade a book and quill for an emerald. Now we have a squid farm on the server called Sea of King Happy, and if I make that chicken farm, then we'll get feathers from that as well, so that's another good trade right there. So there's a lot to be learnt still, but we've got a good idea of what we're doing. And so I think the thing I should do next is obviously set up that chicken farm. So we're going to need a fishing farm as well, but it looks like we're going to need to build another trap for these zombies because now they're going over to this corner over here and they do some really strange things. You can see they start walking in this direction, then they'll stop and they'll start walking back again. So it's like they almost can't make their mind up as if they want to go to the wall here or if they want to pathfind into the room using the trap that I set up. Now this is because I've moved the zombies, the villagers even, they're now over in that corner where we used to have them along this wall here. So when we start trading with them, they might go back over here and then maybe the villagers will start getting them muddled up. Oh no, the zombies will start coming over this side. But I thought, why don't I set up a little drowning trap over here to sort out this problem for now because it's causing lag issues. And I don't know if when you automatically kill zombies, i.e. you kill them with drowning instead of killing them yourself, if they will drop their armor. So that's something that we're going to find out. Because while I'm building those farms, I'm going to set up a very simple little drowning trap here as well, put a hopper underneath it so we can pick up any drops that they get, and maybe we will get some armor from that, but we'll find out in a moment. Well, it's taken me a lot of time to get things done, and I've just found this. There are a load of zombies in the caves. Now, I only saw it because a zombie glitched through the wall here, but I've been down trying to fix this because they have stopped breeding again. And it almost looks like there's only 2 of them there. Yep, and you're nodding. Which is really worrying because what's happened to them then? They've disappeared. It could be something to do with those zombies. Maybe they glitched through and somehow attacked them. But there is another guy down here. Anyway, I don't know how it got down here, but there's another villager behind this wall, so that stopped them from breeding. And so I decided that what I would do is put in a mob-evator that I'm going to hide underneath the floor at the top. So if ever I have this problem, there's always a mob-evator on hand to get them out of there, which is pretty good thinking. But now I've got all of these zombies in the caves, which is really annoying because I haven't lit up any of the caves in this area. That was something that I was waiting to do. Now I think I can break this block and I'm still higher than them. There we go, they can't escape. So let's have a quick look in these caves and see how many of them there are. Now I've been building the trap up the top and that's not really gone too well either. It's just really crazy with all these zombies. Now these guys must have been gathering down here for quite some time now. Let's kill that guy and drop down there and have a look. Let's make sure I've got some torches on me. I've got 2, that's good. Not great for lighting up caves. So what I might do is just fill this area in. Oh, let's see if we can have a quick look. We've got a spider here. You see, if these are both dead ends, then it could be that the zombies are spawning in them. So this one is a dead end. And if that's the case, I can just light it all up, or maybe light it up and block off the other end. There's probably other caves nearby as well that are going to have a load of zombies in them. And it is typical. Absolutely typical, just... everything keeps slowing me down. I haven't even built the chicken farm yet. It's been quite some time I've been working on the trap outside. Okay, this looks like Yeah, this looks like a dead end to some extent, so I'm going to light this up properly. We'll leave a couple of torches down for now. That should stop the zombies gathering in here. And I'm going to get that villager back up to the surface. But let's go and have a quick look at the trap. It hasn't been working very well, and I think I can improve it a little bit. So this is the trap. Now we can't have any water blocks where this glass is because that'll block the daylight from getting down to the villagers down below. So what I've done here is just added some water streams that are going to guide the zombies round into this bit here, and then when they get here they'll be bobbing up and down in the water, and that'll cause them to swim up to the top, so they'll drown, and the drops fall down and they land in that hopper, which puts them into this chest. So you can see we've got a ton of rotted flesh. Now I did see that some zombies went in with some armour on, and we haven't got any in the chest there, so it looks... God damn it. I keep getting creeped. Been creeped about 3 or 4 times out here while I was making this. At least it didn't destroy any of it. That totally distracted me. So armour. Yeah, we haven't got any armour from it yet, and I think it's quite likely that it won't drop them when they're drowning. Anyway, I had to remove some blocks here because of pathfinding. They kept climbing up onto the top of this, and it seems like every time you move a few blocks and change something near the villagers, the zombies just start going in different directions. It is really crazy. But I think whenever we get a permanent setup, we're going to have to fully consider what the zombies are going to do, because they are a real pain. Well, I've just come up the top here to record, and I think I found a problem. This one probably explains itself. I need to put down some more torches by the looks of it. So I was looking at the cows and the pigs, and I was thinking, do you know what, we need to give them some proper pens rather than just being on top of some sand like they were before. And so I decided to add the chicken farm over there as well, but I can't go and show you that in detail. Now, if you look right at where my crosshair is, there is a solid block above the half slab. So my thinking there is that this is going to automatically collect the eggs, then it's going to hatch them into baby chickens, which will stand on top of the half slab at the bottom. Now normally what we have there is lava, so when they grow into an adult they get cooked and those things go down into the chest at the bottom. Whereas this time we got a solid block, so the chicken should grow up, it'll be in the solid block, it will suffocate, and then we will get raw chicken, which will be great for trading. And look at that guy there, his head's bobbing around. Oh, that is so funny. Now this guy's coming for me. So yeah, this is actually connected, by the way. And do you know, I think we can actually go and have a look. Let's just see. I can take out that spider, even though he's probably not aggressive with me. Don't want to go too close to this guy. Let's try and shoot him in the head. Okay, I think we're going to be able to get rid of him without hurting the pigs. That's good. Okay, so you can see there's a bunch of chickens up the top here. I haven't built it that long ago, so I don't know if they're the first batch of babies, but if we have a look in here, yep, they are. And so this is pretty much the one that I done a tutorial on a while ago. And yeah, there's nothing too special to show back there. So if we go inside, I've made a little bit of progress with the villagers. Let's close that. And I tell you what, I'm really going to enjoy this project. I'm just about to start trading with them, which is cool. And I think what I'll do is do all the trading and stuff off camera, because I don't know, there's a lot that I've got to learn about it, so I'll make notes as I go along. But these guys here that I put up into the little stalls that I've made, these have trades that you give them items and you get emeralds in return. And then these guys over here, they all have emeralds for something else. Now, it took me quite a while to get these guys up the top here and then remove the minecarts. And then I kind of thought, do you know what, I could leave them around like this, because you can nudge the minecarts, keep them in the same place, and then you don't have to bother building anything special for them. So I'll probably end up pushing these guys around, and they'll be in like a little semicircle, and then we can trade with these as well. But we're not going to do any of these trades yet because we don't have any emeralds, or at least I don't want to spend any of the emeralds that I got by digging on these guys. So I've just finished talking to Panda from Zipcrowd. He was really helpful and explained to me some of the things that I didn't understand about villager trading. So now I think I've got the gist of it, and there's basically 2 different ways that you can trade with these guys. Now there's one very important thing to note about villagers, and that is that when you get to their very last trade and you've unlocked all of them, the very last trade they have is one you can use over and over again, and it unlocks other trades that they have as well. So you can go for a perfect villager, which is one that has a trade at the end that is useful to you, something cheap like iron, because we have an iron farm, or maybe wheat. That's really easy to get a lot of, but one like that means you can continuously trade with the villager and unlock all of their previous ones. So that is one way of doing it, is by going through all of the different villagers and trying to find one with a really good trade at the end, and then that becomes a perfect villager. So for these guys here who have these sorts of trades, they would be good if they had a good one at the very end. and also the blacksmith is the other one we're interested in for the diamond armor. So what I think I'm going to do is the alternative method for these guys, who we trade simple trades like this with, and search for the perfect villager with the blacksmith. So the alternative method is to dispose of these guys. Now I think you can take them out of range of the player and also other villagers, and if they get killed it won't affect you trading with the other ones. So that means what we can do is bring in guys like this from the breeding machine and then do these trades until they are locked, and then we'll ignore ones like this. We won't try and unlock the rest. When we're done trading with the basic trades we then get rid of them and we bring in another one who we trade with again. So we're going to do a mix of both different styles there, although if we do find a villager who's got some decently priced trades, then maybe we'll try and make a perfect villager of this type as well. But that is pretty much it right there. So I think I'm actually going to have to come up with a better solution to using these minecarts, because now we're going to be recycling through villagers and then also getting rid of them as well. So I'm going to have to take some time to think about that, because that is going to be a big system to build right there. So we're down here again. We have another villager who's escaped. This guy I actually want to trade with though, because he's got the raw beef trade right there, which is something that we can do. But he was in here a moment ago, so I'm going to assume that he escaped when he was a baby, made his way into there, and then grew into an adult when he was down the bottom there. So that stopped these guys from breeding again. Now I think the way that it escapes is up here. I think I might have missed something in the tutorial, and we actually need a glass block right there. So let's go around to the other side and have a look. So when the baby gets pushed across, this one extends, I think, when this one retracts and then pushes again. So my guess is that whenever this one here retracts and pushes out, it means that the baby villager could actually go to the left and then fall down below. So I'm going to put a glass block and hopefully we won't see that happen again. And Panda also suggested that maybe what is happening here is that when the chunks unload and reload, some of the villagers are actually glitching into the blocks around them, and then because it's a transparent block they don't die and they can move around and then glitch out and fall down. So this guy over here, I'm now going to have to push him into the mob-evator and get him to go upstairs. So I've just finished building a little system to help us trade with the villagers. Now this uses minecarts, which is pretty cool because I don't really use them that often. But anyway, this is really simple. This is where the villagers come up after they're done breeding, and then they drop down into this bit right here. So when we press this button, we are going to power this dispenser, which will put a minecart on the track, power the track, and bring out the villager. Now one little change that I need to make, I think, is to have a powered rail here that isn't powered, so the villager will stop and we can check its trade and then decide where we want to send it, because we can either send it up here, and this is where the disposable villagers are going to go, or we could send them over in this direction to where we're going to put our blacksmiths. Now it's the blacksmiths we're trying to create the perfect villager with, so we always have access to lots of decent armor trades. So anyway, when we send them over here, what they're going to do straight away is go right up here onto the powered rail, which they'll stop because it's unpowered, and then when we press the button we'll power it and we'll send them back out again. So that's when we flip the switch like this. Now obviously that's going to send the first villager into the next one, but the idea is once all of these are switched that it will go all the way down to the end of the track, and then somewhere here we'll have a door and a minecart track that takes them off into the distance. Now I don't know how far they have to go away from the players and other villagers, but what I'll do is I'll make a little trap at the end that probably suffocates them in a block and destroys the minecart with a cactus and picks it up in a hopper, and then that means we get the minecart back and the villager gets killed far away without causing any consequence to what we're doing here. So there's one problem with this, and it's only because I'm trying to do this and save a little bit of space because we don't have a lot of room down here, that these are one block in between each one, which means we have to put the button here to power it. And you know what, I've just thought of a way to do it. I kept thinking we could put redstone on top, and if there was a 2-block gap in between that would power the one to the side of it. But what we can actually do, let's just turn those into buttons, is we could put it on the side like this, and then you would just power the one. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make that modification. So all of those buttons are now in place, which means we're almost ready for villager trading, but I'm going to be doing the rest of this in between episodes. So I'll get that trap set up once I figure out how far away it needs to be from the villagers and myself, and then I'll be doing some trading in between episodes, so hopefully next time I'll have a whole load of emeralds and interesting stuff to tell you about how the trading is going. But that is going to be it for this episode, so if you've enjoyed it, please do give it a like. You know it is always appreciated. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.